The little red dot. What's going on, everybody? Smiley's Garden. We just went live for the wormhole, so I'm sitting here rolling up a joint, hoping somebody joins in and hangs out with me for a minute, and I can maybe figure out how to get chat up without doing double noises. But sorry, I was busy the other night, chilling in chat with everybody. Let me bring this up here. You guys will hear me. Hold on. Just went live. Stop. There it is. Now I get to see chat. What's going on, CJ? Iceny. How you guys doing? Hope everybody had a good week. It's fucking Saturday night. Chill and hang out. Or I guess it's Sunday morning now. 2:20. I'm a little behind on this one. We'll get to fire them up. What's going on, Blind Cat 420? Cheers, y'all. Johnny Canner Cedar. You got
What's up, Smiley?
What's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
Got your gift package the other day, I see.
I did. Got my gift basket.
Should keep you busy for a minute, right? Like,
oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yes. Yeah, that'll definitely keep me busy for a couple of minutes. Turn that to sideways here.
I know I was gonna send you just all the ones I did, and then I'm like, I don't know, man. I got those other ones in the package were handed to me at the Gene Traders, so they're fairly fresh, and from Sticky Mitten, which he's a YouTuber here in Michigan too. Sticky Mitten Cannabis, I think, is the YouTube it's under.
So I've heard of that. I've heard of that name before. I've heard it mentioned.
I'm pretty sure Eagle did an interview with him. Or yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure he's got one of the episodes. I'd have to look at that. But.
That would have to be where I heard that.
Yeah. So I mean, some of them I don't know what to expect, but you know.
Yeah, it's exciting. I tell you.
Those Mac Mosa ones are actually pretty expensive. So.
Are they really? Wow.
Well, I already ran it. I got it going right now, and I'm not going to crack the rest of them, so I just sent them to you to run them out because I figured, I don't know, run them, see what you think, if there's a big difference between expensive beans and bag seeds, you know?
Okay, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to try that out. Yeah, I accidentally, while I was going through thinning out a few of my my plants in the flower, and I was doing some snipping. Normally I do it with my fingers, and I was using my skizzers, and I went and I snipped off the whole top of one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know, that shit happens. So I just took it
off your
What's
finger.
That?
You snipped your finger?
No. I snipped the tip off of one of my my plants.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah.
So I just took that sucker and I pulled a couple leaves off and I just stabbed it into the sand, and man, it's too good. It's like I just took another clump, you know.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. What the heck? I needed to take a clump off of that one anyways. That was one of my mystery beans. Not beans, but it was one of those where the plant was growing, it was just about ready to be transferred into flower, and lo and behold, there's a little plant growing up down below it, you know, little seedling that popped up. So that one there is where I got one of the clones off of. It is now.
You know you're hustling and hurrying when you go to snip one. Like, I don't know if you hold the branches and snip with your scissors kind of thing. Like when you're doing some of that, I've caught the end of my finger where it goes through the stem, but the scissors are just at the end of your finger. You know what I'm saying? I caught it.
Man.
Oh, that'll sing too.
Oh man, that just made me hurt just thinking about that. Man.
Yeah, because you don't feel the scissors on your finger, and then when it snaps through the stem is when it gets you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's got some momentum already going too. slice it right through. I've gotten myself a couple times that way. I'm like, oh man, I gotta slow down. It's fucking crazy. Lose a finger.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Yeah, that would not be any good. That would not be any good at all. I've heard people snipping their fingers and stuff, but I haven't gotten close yet, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, just take your time and don't. It's when you're
Well,
hustling.
I'm not in any hurry. When I was doing that, I just couldn't see what I was doing, and I was just doing it with the scissors, you know. And then the whole top went. Whoop. I said, "Oh shoot! Didn't mean to cut that one."
It happens.
Yeah,
I think you took
but
it well though.
yeah, it was a simple fix. I just took it and stabbed it into the dirt or to the sand, and man, she's growing like a weed, you know.
That's what weeds do in sand.
Yeah, I've got a full on bud that came off of this one right here that I snipped off of a section over here. It's about that big, you know, good 2 inches tall, and that sucker's it's in there rooting.
Got a re-veg project.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever put a bud of that nature and tried to re-veg, or not really re-veg. It's actually a monster clone because it's taking a clone that you cut or a bud you cut off and sticking it into the dirt for it to root. So if you're re-vegging, that's coming from the pot. It's still in the pot. I would think a re-veg would be, right?
Either way, there's a lot of guys re-veg in a clone form like that. What's up, Red Pill?
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Hey.
I'm all right.
But yeah, re-veg is just going from the flower state back to a vegetative state. So it'll do it whether that bud you cut will do it or whether you left it on the rootstock, you know.
Well, I've never had real success at all with doing a bud.
No.
Or snipping it off and cloning it. I've never had any
Put
luck
the
with that at all.
Sand Tech to the test, Johnny. We got the Sand Tech put to the test.
I'm telling you, I put that sucker in on the 20th. I put it in on the 20th. I'll bet that sucker's rooted already. It's still solid green. It hasn't lost any of the pistils. The pistils all look good.
What are you going to leave it in there until you start seeing new growth or something?
Well, no. I could give it a check. Let's see, the 20th. That would be man, that's 11 days already. I bet that sucker's fully rooted.
Yeah. Get the spoon out. Let's see. Let's see.
Okay, man. That's it. That's it.
If it's been that long, I don't know how you tell because, like on the cubes, you can kind of pick them up and see the roots coming through. So you got to kind of, I don't know, do a little digging to see what, right?
Yeah, let's see what's on here. I will around here. Let's pull this baby out.
Yeah, all them clones, man.
I know, and those are mostly clones.
Getting out of control, Johnny. Out of control.
I'm telling you, I don't know what to do with myself sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing this thing. I'm gonna pull it out so I can work on it out here.
Everybody does that too, I think. I shouldn't say everybody, but I've seen so many people do that too, where you set up your room, you get all excited, and then like veg takes for fucking ever, and you want to just flip them into flower. So right. You get them into flower, you got like 8 times as many as you need in veg because you're all excited. All right, let's see it. So are you changing the sand, Johnny, or are you just leaving it?
No, that's the same sand. Well, it hasn't rooted yet, but it still looks solid. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't rooted yet, but she still looks major green. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
there's still a chance.
Still a chance.
I like it, man. Putting the sand tech to the test. Never
That's
before
what I'm
has
saying.
Johnny accomplished this. So if it does work, we know it's something.
That'll be a feat, you know.
Yeah.
But I've already got a couple of beans that have popped up already. There's one right there, one right here, and that's one that I just stuck in there. It'll root up. Oh goodness!
Like it. So you're popping seeds.
And yeah, and this one here is in the original. I mean, that's the outside dirt, you know, the sand from outside. And it's got one bean that popped in it so far. None of the other ones did. So that's interesting. We'll see how it goes. And then not only that, I put some of my 80s and 90s beans in there just to see if they would even do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be that kind of a wild type of a nutrient type of soil. So put this crap back in there.
Fingers crossed, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's all, you know, it doesn't even matter if it doesn't make it or not. To me,
You got seeds that are older than me, Johnny.
Yes, sir, I do. Yes.
Yeah.
See that? It's a fake dog.
It's a fake dog?
A fake dog.
What's the point of that?
It's just to fuck with my dog. Once I get a battery in it, I think it makes noises and shit like that, and it'll mess with my dog. So that'll be good. It's a toy, you know, for me to mess with my dog with.
Yeah.
If I can't get this to switch around now.
Yeah. It was a pretty cool afternoon, man. I was getting some stuff done around outside. I sifted some compost, and then Big Jar Grows and his wife was out this side of the state because of tulip time or whatever. So they stopped by and had dinner with us. So that was kind of cool, hanging out.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. Right on. Sounds like a great day.
Yeah, it is. It was a good day.
Anytime you get to spend with friends is a great day. That's my thought.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so I'm trying something new. Mr. B's green trees.
Oh yeah, I like the Mr.
Yeah, this here was sent to me by Miranda Family Farms. He sent this to me, and he said, since you like testing stuff, he said, test this out for me. So
Well,
I
when
cracked
you
it
got
open.
it, what is the NPK rating on it? They got like 3-4 different ones.
744 growth.
There you go. Yeah. They got a
Yep.
bloom one too, I think that's like higher in the NP and the P
Yeah,
and
so
lower in the N.
so it's a little sample pack, you know, it's not real big, but I think I'll be able to get probably maybe 10 to 12 gallons worth of solution out of it. I'm thinking.
Well, you'll
calculated
just
that right.
top dress that right on the top, like a quarter cup of that on each pot, probably. What size pots? You're in them 5-gallon buckets?
Well, it says here if you wanted to do what is it? You add 2 tablespoons to a gallon of water.
Or you put it right in the water?
Yeah, that's what this here said to do. So I went ahead and did that. Put it right in the water, shook the crap out of it, you know, agitated it up, you know.
Yeah.
Did that about 3-4 times, and then after that, I slurried it, and then I poured it into my container and watered my plants with it. So I went through all of my veg with well, I made 3 gallons worth, and I fed my veg basically.
All right. Yeah, I thought it was like a pre-made amendment mix where you would just top dress, kind of like the BioLive or
well, it does have that.
Gaia Green's the other one. You know.
Yeah, it has that in there that you can do it like that. Okay. But I figured it would go further if I did it this way. I'd be able to spread it out to my plants. You know what I'm thinking? Yeah. You know, I'm always trying to look for the best way to go about making something
Yeah, no,
as cheap as possible.
no, you can definitely spread it out further that way. I think what I was getting at is it'd be kind of cool to just put it on a couple of the pots, mark them so you know which pots they were, and then do your normal thing on the other pots, so that way you can kind of see.
Oh, you know what? That would have been a better way to go about it. That would have, yeah.
But either way, sure it helps.
But I already doused all of my my veg anyways, so it's already got a feeding of it.
So do they like it or not like it?
Oh, well, they haven't said anything yet. I just did it this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still just soaking it up right now, getting it into them. Yeah, I went around and did me a bunch of deleafing earlier to clean it up so it'd be a little bit less foliage in my flower tent. I took a bunch of that crap out.
Does that have humic acid in it? Does it say?
I think I remember reading something.
Derived from this thing?
Yeah. Get my other glasses to read. Okay, it says seabird guana, fish meal, kelp meal, bat guana, fishbone meal, rock phosphate, blood meal, langbonite, ferrous sulfate, dolomite, neem meal. That's good stuff. Sulfate of potash, oyster shell, feather meal, green sand. Hey, that's cool. Volcanic ash, glacier rock dust with microbial or mycorrhiza and humic acid. Humic acid is the last ingredient.
It does have humic acid in it. That's cool. Yeah. That and it's all powderized.
Yeah, it's
like chunks in it.
Yeah, it's very powderized. You know, it just I don't know if you can see that.
I'm just wondering, like, I don't think it's going to be water soluble, so you have to shake it real well to get all the.
Oh, I shook the heck out of it. Okay. You know, I was thinking, you know, because it does look like it's got the rock dust and stuff like that in there. You can see the crushed rock and whatnot. You know, so obviously that's not going to dissolve.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to be water soluble and like.
Right. But I was able to.
Like some of the stuff in there will though, so that's what you got to kind of think about a little bit when like some of them crazy tea things. Like you can get a bunch of stuff. Like the bat guano is pretty soluble usually.
Yeah, I would think the fish meal, the kelp meal, and the seabird guana.
That's going to change whatever NPK that is, you know, versus whatever it is just mixed up there, and then you mix it in water. It's totally different because all those different things have different solubilities of water.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea how to measure it. Like I was trying to think, like, what is it based on? Like a veg newt or a bloom newt, but that seems like an all-around thing that you could mix in a like super soil or something. Yeah.
I would say this would be more of a veg type of a mix.
Yeah, with the 7 on the nitrogen.
744.
But what happens if you, like we're saying, if you solubilize it, if it's high phosphorus bat guano, whatever, then that could change the NPK ratio of it. You might not have 7.
I'll have to ask the plants.
But it's soluble when you water too, though. You know what I mean? If you top dressed it and watered it in, it's still becoming soluble.
Yeah, but I'm like wondering what's the most soluble compared to what's the least soluble. Is the most soluble thing something that isn't high in nitrogen versus like that? Well, the green sand is, I think, potassium, but that's like the lowest solubility thing that I think I heard on the list.
Yeah.
Well, there's
too.
Rock dust in there too.
Yeah, none of them are going to be soluble.
So that's the thing about rock dust, depending on what it is. There's like
glacier rock dust. There's the green sand. I would think that the rock phosphate would not be a very
I think it's called C90. Anyone ever use that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think it's derived from the Sea of Cortez, but it's like salt deposits, like we talked about, where tides recede. And yeah, the product is called C90, and the 90, well, the C is because it comes from the sea. The 90 is because supposedly it has all 90 trace minerals that plants and animals need. Where like I don't know exactly, but I think like kelp has like 77, and like rock dust has like 78. I think they're both missing a tiny bit of what the C90 has. Yeah. But you're basically like making diluted seawater when you mix that. It is highly water soluble because that's where it came from, but now you're basically feeding seawater to your plants.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I don't think you want to do a ton of, but it's helpful on occasion. Some guys foliar it. I haven't done that. Josh Rutherford was talking about that, where he mixed P90 with full power and did a foliar, and that was like a supercharged kind of thing. I haven't had the chance to try it yet, though. So,
but see my gnome?
Yeah, that's cool.
I got to drill this out and put a joint right here.
Yeah, there you go.
And instead of having that, it's got some sort of a cigarette or a cigar or something like that. He's sitting on a donut, for crying out loud.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. But the C90, I don't know, man. I guess I haven't used it in a while, actually. I got it sitting on the shelf. I did some messing around with it. I foliated it a couple times, but it wasn't the best response every time, and I wouldn't go real strong with it as far as like, tablespoons per gallon type stuff. Like, I'd keep it more in the teaspoon per gallon kind of range. Yeah, and every so often. Yeah. I don't know the effect that it would have on like some of the biology, but it is pretty cool. There's a lot of historical information and knowledge about, in and around like Egypt, where they would direct the Nile River to like flood their fields.
Mm-hmm.
Every other year they would try to flood their fields with that water and let it drain back out. It was like a known good thing for the soil, and the crops would benefit from it, and some of that's the talk I think the guy from C90 gives, where he's kind of describing how some of the sea salts have been used in agriculture at certain levels or extents, and obviously not in excess, but.
Yeah, I think I learned about it, I want to say, through Boogie Brew. You ever use that? Know what that is?
Yeah.
Boogie Brew? I think it's another Josh guy that has a common name that has the company, but I think he had a whole bunch of compost tea stuff, and it's very weird now because I listen to a lot of shows where a lot of people say brewing and compost teas and that kind of stuff is bad. I don't know why, but I've heard people say that lately. Compost teas are inferior, contrary to what we thought.
No, it's never been contrary to what we thought. It was always taken out of context is what I think was the big deal. So, the idea that we can just add 3 tablespoons of molasses per gallon to a compost tea is where some of those things get taken out of context, where like an actual tablespoon of molasses is enough to brew 1,000 gallons of water, so.
Okay.
Sometimes that's where like the idea of what the fuck we're doing kind of but I think we get the moron attitude where oh shit, they said that much, I'm gonna add this much because it's got to be.
What I think about that though is with KNF and the plant ferments that you use brown sugar for, because that's a sugar, that's a carbohydrate, and not only are you like macerating the plant material and coating it in the brown sugar, but then you have a brown sugar layer on top, and when all that fucking does its thing, it's like honey. It's got to be like 50% or more straight up carbs plus whatever it was in the plant that you we're trying to ferment. But how much carbs are we doing when you're doing heavy KNF feedings? Everything's fermented with carbs, right? Every feeding, carbs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the I guess the debate against the KNF thing, but to the note on the side of KNF, I mean, you're mixing that at 1,000 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as like trying to say that yes, you can, it's highly potent, and yes, you can really overdose it really fast. And I think that's probably more to what people do that have problems with KNF. I think they're more to the end where they're overdosing things. And I think the people that stay more true to the simplistic nature of it, of just applying these at certain key times, and, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's not a big shift from a lot of the other natural farming stuff, to have this, there's just a time and a place to use them, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I see a lot of that. Like, if people have problems or don't like this about it or whatever, it's almost like, yeah, but if it's used appropriately, it should be good. I mean, there's a lot of people that are having success with it. So
the very first theory I had on that was making a plant ferment from cannabis, but finding varieties. Like, if you're someone that starts a lot of seeds, or is doing pheno hunts, or has availability to get a whole bunch of different clones, and you got every grow you're growing 10, 20, 30 different varieties, and you find ones that are really low susceptibility to bugs or mildew or mold or insects or predators and that kind of thing. I always thought those are the plants you want to make the ferments out of, and spray the more vulnerable ones with it. Because
so you'd be passing on those traits to the next one too.
Well, my idea came from this, and I didn't even know there was people doing KNF. I heard about this on a podcast, and then I learned about KNF in the same day, and I thought, I wonder if the two things are related. But this has to do with like hippie science. But supposedly you can gain a immunity to poison ivy and poison oak and that kind of shit if you have goats that tolerate eating those, like the little saplings and shoots that are the most irritating if you rub up against. Supposedly there's goats that can eat it and digest it fine, and whatever, squeamish alert, but fucking if you drink the goat's piss after ingesting those poison ivies and poison oaks, supposedly now you have immunities to poison oak and poison ivy. You can tolerate rubbing against it.
But you had to drink a goat's piss. I mean, you kind of lost me at that part.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, now I gotta say something about that too. Now, who was the first guy to do that? What if I drink the goat's piss?
That's the story supposedly on how they discovered the Bacillus subtilis or whatever was the fucking. I forget what war or whatever, but the story was like our soldiers were over in Afghanistan or over in the desert areas, and they were getting sick from drinking the water over there. And they noticed that like the local soldiers that were helping them weren't getting sick. So then they started watching them one night, and they figured out the guys were eating the camel turd or whatever.
Oh.
They'd eat a fresh camel turd, just one little nugget. You know what I mean? And fucking that made that fucking
Smiley, can I jump in on this one?
Yeah.
I just actually heard this story.
Right out of nowhere you go.
I just actually heard this story, to be honest with you. And they weren't actually eating the shit from what I heard. It was them loving on the camels. The camels were getting it was transferred from them loving on their camels, basically, and the camels licking their ass, and then the camel would turn around and lick them on their nose, is how it was transferred. It wasn't them eating, it was them licking on them is how it was being transferred.
Well,
I could be wrong, but I just heard
they just thought it was funny to trick the American soldiers into eating the turd, actually. So that That was the inside.
So yeah, that's what I was weary of. Is as I was saying that, I'm like, no, this is a prank. This is a prank to get you to drink goat piss. Don't do it. No.
It's a snipe hunt, man. Don't do it. It's a snipe hunt.
Yeah, he's like, hey, they're watching us. Let's act like we're eating camel shit.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man. It's the first time they were fucking mocking them. It's funny shit. Well, the Colombians did that to us too, man. Like back in the day, there was what is it, the Colombian Missile Crisis and all that, right? In like the 70s and shit. And the fucking and the Colombians, like the Americans,
I remember that,
spies over there. Like we sent CIA operatives over to Colombia to like, you know, be spies like us or whatever, right? The fucking Colombians knew they were there the whole time. So they just like pandered to them and were like giving them fake info and shit and sending them to different places. And then at the end of it, they filmed the motherfuckers. Every bit of it, dude. Every bit of it they had on film. Like, and then they sent it to the US government and they put it on the air on their TV program or something. And they made a big mockery of the US CIA because they freaking were like, they thought they were sneaking around and they thought they were paying off people to get information and shit. And it was all on film and they did it like fucking documentary on how stupid they were.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the CIA.
Did they have the Benny Hill theme song playing too?
Something, dude. It was funny, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's good.
I was like, that's hilarious shit.
Hey, so I thought of this.
Agent Friday, you know, from the fucking Dragnet and shit. Fuck, over in Colombia.
No,
yeah, he's Agent Friday over in Colombia trying to fucking get some insider information from some Colombian dude. Like, oh yeah, see, yeah, okay. Hey, we'll help you out. Hey man.
Think of it more like Naked Gun.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Naked Gun.
But I did think though, on top of making a ferment out of those plants that you find that have those tolerances to pests and mold and whatever microbes, bad microbes, not only making a foliar with that, the ferment of those plants combined, but then the finished product essential oils too. So now you do like talking steam distillation run of the spider mite tolerant plant, and then you do the essential oils of the powdery mildew tolerant plant. So now it's a 4-product thing. You have the ferment from the spider mite tolerant one, the ferment from the powdery mildew one, the essential oil through the spider mite one, and the essential oil through the powdery mildew one. You mix all that up and spray it on your plants.
Dude, you got to do that and call it the red pill. It's the red pill spray.
The red pill antidote.
Yeah, no, man, you got a patent right there. Fucking.
I thought about it. Like I said, I wanted to make those those Glade plug-in things too that make your house smell nice. That are just like little essential oil ones, but take out the essential oil and put like Lost Coast Plant Therapy in, and then put those in your garden. So now your whole garden is basically fumigated with, shit that the bugs don't like.
Yeah, I think you could just go right to the oil at that point with the whatever oil they use in the Lost Coast. What is that? Thyme oil?
Yeah. Exactly. Thyme, peppermint, whatever they use. But my theory on that was you don't have to, actually introduce foliar. And this is something that, everyone's like, okay, I'll use it in veg, but I'm not going to do it in flower. Well, here's the perfect solution, because now you're fumigating the air. You don't have to hit the plants with anything. You don't got to spray it on there. It's wafting in the air all around. It'd be even better and more effective in closed rooms.
Well, my question to that is you don't want to be spraying your plants in flower with something of that nature, right?
So yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't think you'd want to have the essential oil like you were saying, where they heat it and it kind of gives off because that I think would have an effect on the flower too, because it's diffusing into the air, right? Isn't that what they call those, a diffuser or whatever?
Something like that.
It would seem like it would be breathing it into its stomatas, right?
I would think that'd be a good thing, though. That's what I mean. It would be a good thing because it's given the.
But then it would.
I would air think itself. If you think of the air as like, think of if you had to swim through fucking acid or something, right?
No,
That's
I
what
don't
it'd
even
be
want to
like
think
if the
about that.
bug has to go through the air to get to the plant. Then even if it lands on the plant, it's like I'm trying to think of something that it's like if
Well,
you got
I
if you
understand
know
what
if
you're
someone
saying.
put a pandemic mask over your face with chloroform on it, you know what I mean?
No,
Like
I
the
get what
young
you're
lady
saying.
that's
It would
jogging.
definitely deter them, but what I'm getting at is if you were to try that in flour, I think it would still get mixed in with the trichome oil. And I
Really?
think it'd still have a flavor effect from it being even aromatically.
Well, that's what I mean. We're in unventured territory. I don't know if anyone's ever done it, so I would more agree with you in the drying room with that. If you had one of these in the drying room, that'd be fucked up, right? But in the grow room, I wouldn't think so, especially if it isn't closed room. In closed room, I could say maybe, sort of, yeah, I could see what you're saying. But in a room where exhausting, you know, like if it's going straight up and out of the grow room or the place where you're growing, then it's off gassing and leaving. It's in closure, you know.
Right. No, in concentrate, the higher the concentration got, the more likely it would be.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it anywhere near the dry room. That's the thing, because in the dry room, I would think it's no different than either smoking cigarettes in the dry room or burning incense or spraying an air freshener. That'd be fucked up. But in the plants, like I said, even if it does go in the stomata, it also transpires out too. So in and out it goes.
Yeah, and the stomata don't work. To my understanding, they don't work like a lung like that either. It's an exposed cell, and the reaction can actually that takes place is just either grabbing O2 or it's grabbing CO2 and releasing the O2. You know what I'm
Does
saying?
the plant have intake stomata and out, exhaust stomata, or is it both happening at the same time?
It's happening simultaneously. So the plant, the stomata of the plant, to my understanding, it's always like in a dichotomy or a balance, right? With controlling moisture loss and having access to CO2, at least in a C3 plant, which is what cannabis is. So
well, I thought of it as more of a physical thing, is where the transpiration causes a siphon effect from the roots and the root zone where water is being like a straw being uptaken, and then the transpiration effect is what causes whatever negative pressure in the plant that allows it to take up however much water is there. That's what causes the amount, however many times you got to feed or water your plant per day.
That's the bulk flow of it, but it's still trying to balance that with controlling the leaf temperature and controlling the ability to do photosynthesis. Because if it's running short on its water source, there's a pressure, a tension to the water. That's how those meters work, like the Blue Mont meters or whatever. It works on that water tension in the soil, and basically what that means is the media is wanting to hold on to moisture too, right? It's got a resistance to evaporation in the soil. When you get your growing media wet, it's got a resistance to that evaporation, and it also has a resistance to the plant trying to take it up, and that'll depend on how much concentration of it there is there. You know what I'm saying? So like if it's overwatered, you could actually build up too much, and the plant will kind of like have to build pressure to resist that water tension. And then if it gets too dry, the plant will actually have to build. So like what you were talking about, that transpiration, that evaporation that's happening, and that's actually causing a chain link reaction between all the hydrogen bonds in that water. And it's not exactly like a straw, because it still has to go through all the cell membranes, and it goes through what's called aquaporin, and there's like bulk flow. So there's pathways that it can go, but it's not exactly like a straw, to my understanding. You know what I mean? And that's like the majority of it as far as like bulk flow. But there's an actual tension. There's a pressure that hydrogen bond can have as it's going up that column, like what you're talking. So if the soil media is too dry, then that tension or that pressure has to be a lot greater to be able to try to gain some of the moisture that's in the soil. So what the plant will do in a response when that starts to dry is it'll start to close the stomata down, because it doesn't want to have like so much tension there. It'll try to resist the loss of the water versus trying to do more. And that's when you're getting into the point where your leaves are going to start to wilt.
Yeah, I was just about to
really
say
able to maintain that turgor pressure of the moisture to hold them up. You know what I mean?
I've had that problem too, where plants, they didn't stop wilting. They got so bad to where I've watered them, they just kept doing it. They kind of raised up a little bit, and it's very weird. You know what the solution to that was? This was in a 3x3 tent with a CMH 315, the 31K. I moved the plants out of there and I put them in a spare bathroom with just the vanity lights turned on. And like 2 to 4 days later, they perked up and were perfectly fine again.
That's cool.
Weird. What do you think that was?
The photosynthesis, like I said, driving whatever that effect is. I was beating the plants with too much light while letting them dry out too much.
Okay.
That would be my guess based on what Smiley just said, unless I got it wrong.
No, that's right.
Yeah. So do you think it's kind of like the weather? The plant reacts kind of like barometrically pressure driven?
No, I mean,
you're talking about the pressure in the soil and
the plant's fully in control of that. I'm just talking in the physical properties of the hydrogen bond in water. That's all. Like, it's straight up.
Oh, I was going to ask, you ever hear about that Orson water then?
The Orson water?
Yeah, it's like that, whatever, fourth state of water or whatever.
Oh, easy water, yeah.
They changed some molecular, I don't know, they, like I said, with mixed, supposedly the molecules in water form parallel lines or something like that.
Well, it's called an exclusion zone, and there's a particular reaction they noticed at the surface. So like when you put a droplet of water on a surface and it's hydrophobic, it'll have a droplet form, and if it's hydrophilic, it'll like kind of like dissipate evenly across that surface or whatever. And those are some of the differences in the tension there. But what they noticed with the infrared, that there was a zone of water that was like at the contact point of that material, and it would actually form its molecular structure in a little bit different way, because like I don't know, water's really weird because like there's the oxygen and then the two, so like H2O, right? 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. But if you can picture it, the oxygen's way bigger like that, and then the hydrogens are little teeny things like this. But the oxygen has 8 spots where it can make bonds, 6 or 8. I might have that wrong. But when the hydrogens form in such a way that they're at like 130-degree angle from each other. So it's almost like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a spaceship kind of looking shape to that structure. And then the other hydrogen bonds can shapes. Yeah, so like that oxygen is open to bind with other things. That's what makes water a lot of the solvent that it is.
I keep failing to send it out. When we talked about something like this a while back, I brought up heavy water, and I didn't know if you sent, or if you had seen all these videos that I was going to send you a link to. But the same person that does the video, he uses, it's kind of funny, but he uses dog toys, like dog chew toys, as examples of what molecules and certain things look like. And he did find one where it's like one big oxygen atom, 2 little hydrogen atoms. And he's like, this is pretty much what oxygen represents, or a good way to represent oxygen, or water molecule.
Well, and the particle size there is like what we don't grasp, or I didn't anyway either. You know, like the oxygen's a lot bigger and hydrogen's way smaller, and like just, I don't know, like there's 1 billion water molecules in one single cell. You know, so like just to kind of get your head around some of the size differences there, it's like crazy to think, you know. I don't know. But there is some thought to the idea of structuring water, most definitely. And I don't know, some people that kind of talk negatively about it, I think, are just closed-minded. They're not trying to be open-minded at all, because there's most definitely anomalies about water that science does not fucking explain. And it's a crazy thing, but it's like people want white papers on it. It's like, we don't even fucking know, dude. There's like 70 some things about water that there ain't no white papers on. We don't know why it fucking does that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's an anomaly. So, science don't explain it, you know?
When you were talking about that barrier between, that little thin barrier, do you think that little barrier is like the communication barrier? So it reacts to what other substance might be on the other side of that barrier, and creates that kind of communication so that it can start to work.
There's a lot that we don't know about it, but it's like basically the molecules are forming similar pattern to what they would do in an ice cube, and it's not a liquid or a solid. They describe it more as like a gel type of that's why they call it the fourth phase of water. But it's called the easy water because it's called exclusion zone. And what they're finding there is that the particles that are not the water almost purifies itself, if that's a better way to put it. It excludes out any other materials that aren't hydrogen and oxygen, basically. So if it's got calcium in that water or whatever,
the cream rises to the top, and in this case, the purest water is at the top.
And then they found that if they apply certain infrared light to it, which, you know, like all objects kind of emit infrared light, I guess, or a lot of stuff does, but whatever, if they emit an infrared light to it, they could almost double that exclusion zone area. And some of the thought is like that's a whole new area about water that we never understood before, but it explains a lot more.
Have you ever seen people harvest
things move around in a plant, and how, you know what I'm saying, how water and nutrients can move around in a plant in such a way? There's a lot we're still learning about that.
So have they got an idea of what that exclusion zone is actually for? What does it do?
You'd have to watch it, man. There's some videos on it to get your head around it a little bit more. I really don't know enough about it.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. That sounds...
This might sound dumb. Does it have a shelf life?
I would imagine so, yeah, because they could remove the infrared light, and that doubling effect would go back down, and it would be. And I think they're talking in like microscopic kind of.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something you can see with your naked eye or anything like that, but it's just a total new understanding that they found as far as a fourth phase of water that we never really realized about before. And it does shift the thinking of, like, you know, just how much or how things can move around in a plant in a certain way, or how things can move, you know, like how blood moves around in us, for example. Like, you know, if I were to ask you that question, we say, well, our heart circulates the blood around, but our heart doesn't generate, like if we were trying to recreate our circulatory system, our heart is not capable of generating the pressure it takes to get blood to all the little vessels in your fingertips and in your skin. You know what I'm saying? Like all the little vessels that are all through your body. You know, they've tried that before, and the amount of pressure it would take if the heart was building pressure and moving blood that way, the amount of pressure it would take is like, you know, 1,000 times what the heart's even capable of doing. So like our understanding of even how our circulatory system and shit is affected by that understanding of that fourth phase. So yeah, so
that is a trick deep. Right there.
It is. It's pretty deep.
Yeah, yeah, that's deep. It's very deep. I would think that our just, you know, thinking as a breaking things down, I would think that your blood vessels would be part of the snake-like effect that would kind of like your intestines, how it pushes things through. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a worm in a way, how it moves.
but it's just not that way. I mean, like some of the vessels get down to like two, you know what I mean? Like there's like 2 or 3 cell wide.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like, they don't understand that part of it totally. Like, and that's how our blood gets around us, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
I used to love Rugrats and Magic School Bus when they would animate. They would shrink themselves down and go
into the blood, go into the bodies.
Yeah. I don't know how accurate that shit was, but it sure was entertaining.
So Johnny, you probably remember that movie in the 80s where they Inner Space, wasn't it? Inner Space, was that the movie where he shrunk and he had to, they injected him in somebody or something and he was floating around the body and he was gonna do kind of repair. He was taking out a cancer tumor or something like that.
We had Osmosis Jones, like I said, Magic School Bus, Rugrats, probably some more did other things like that. It's a repeating theme, you know, there's no originality in Hollywood.
Yeah, it seemed very scientific, very like outer space, you know, that movie. Right.
Yeah. There you go, Patrick.
It was pretty crazy. Yeah. I seen a movie when I was younger called Phase 4. And gosh, man, I was probably I must have been about 11, 12 years old at that time. But this movie was about ants and how ants were able to build things that were affecting the scientists. And I think this was down in Africa or something like that. And they were studying the ants, and the ants were building like really, really smooth sides to an anthill. And it would literally hit the sun would hit it at a certain angle, and it would shoot right at the laboratory that all the scientists were in. It started heating up the building. They couldn't figure out why the building was getting hot. They went outside and found all this stuff built up. And yeah, it was a wild movie. It ended up being where they wanted one of the female scientists to go down and be their queen.
Was it Sigourney Weaver?
Boy, you know, I don't know. It probably was back in that.
If it was made in the 80s, of course it was Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. I don't know. It could have been a younger woman of her, you know. I don't remember. I was more interested in the girl that I went to the movie with.
You were holding her hand, eating those fucking juju beans.
Oh yeah, I was holding her hand all right.
He was holding the popcorn box in his lap, hoping she'd reach down to the bottom.
How come there's a hole down there? Oh, that's too funny.
Oh shit. Good stuff. Oh shit, it's almost the 20. I didn't even play this dab song.
Yeah. I got some of my crazy hazy loaded up right here.
I literally just put a dab on, so I'm got a good instinct in switching up. Right?
Yeah, you're getting the internal clock going, Red. I got Sea Stars. This is kind of becoming one of my new favorites.
What is it?
I don't want to say it too loud. The other girls will hear.
Oh.
Kind of Sea Stars. It's it's Crippy OG by Donnie Burger.
I think I hear some hissing in the background, Smiley. Oh, you started a war now.
Right? They better get on their game. Fuck, man.
The ladies are talking, man.
It ain't easy to get this #1 spot. Y'all better get on your game, girl. Don't be hating. Don't be hating. So true though, dude. You gotta have them on their toes. You know, there's no off weeks. there's plenty more of them to try. So it's like Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. They don't just take any girl on their squad either, you know.
Yeah, they gotta be hot.
You gotta
at least a 9+. Yeah, gotta be a 9+.
Don't want to give them a bunch of bullshit either. You can't be a fucking diva and whatever. You gotta be a team player and get out there and do the thing, and you know.
Be willing to get on your knees.
I didn't say all that, but I'm just.
Well, you know,
you're taking the metaphor the wrong way there, Doug.
No, I wasn't talking about that. There.
H2O is my hero.
H2O.
Yeah.
Comes in to save the day.
I was just in some cartoon movie that I don't know, they were playing for the grandson and whatever, but there was a part where they had to, like, they were trying to get this treasure or whatever, and they had to, like, pick from all the treasure the most valuable thing in there. And the first guy goes and he finds what he thought was the most valuable piece of gold or whatever, and that was the wrong answer. And then the next girl goes in there and looks through it all, and she sees a little, you know, there was like a little bowl with water in it, purified water or whatever, and that's what she picked was the most, and that was the right answer. The water was the most. You know, all the gold in the world ain't gonna keep you alive, man. Fuck.
Right? You need that water.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. That was a good hit.
Yeah.
I do like the bong hits. I've always enjoyed the bong hits.
Gatorade is better than water. It has electrolytes.
Yeah, well, I used to be able to drink Gatorade.
There ain't nothing better than Brondo.
Who?
Brondo.
Brondo.
It's got electrolytes. Come on. It's what plants crave.
What plants crave. That movie's fucking great, man. He's like, why don't we just give him water? They're like, what? From like from the toilets? Yeah, from the toilets? Fucking crazy. That's so true, man. That we're so gonna be there in 30 years. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna put put a DVD. Well, we'll have to save the movie somehow so that the kids can watch it 30 years from now and be like, holy shit, they knew this was gonna happen.
they were way more polite though, because they said it would happen like 500 years from now, not 50 years from now.
Yeah.
You better make sure you save the unit to play it on too, because those will probably be obsolete too. I remember the 8-tracks, man.
I remember the VCRs. Come on, who's with me?
Who's with me? Who's with me on that?
I remember when they came out with the remote controls.
Oh man, that was a blessing.
I'm proud to say I got raised in a household with one of those big old wooden TVs, big old box.
Oh yeah, you sat on them?
Yeah.
Were you the remote control? Get up there and change that channel.
I was always scared because there was a button that you would press and it would fuck up and malfunction. It would have to go through like all 99 channels to get back to 3. And then
did you have to stand in a certain way holding one of the antenna, the bunny ears?
Well, that was a different one. That was one with those
because the TV's not going to come in.
That one I had was a lot.
I'm tired. Shut up.
It was back when you could actually like slap a television. Like all electronics then were made so like when they start fucking up, you just slap it and it starts working again. What the hell happened to that?
Yeah, my mom's remote control had a switch at the end of it, but it was from the tree outside.
The Nintendo, you could fix it by pulling the cartridge out and blowing in it a bunch of times. Not sure what that did, but it fucking worked, man.
Take the eyeglass cleaner, that little soft, like little cloth, and rub the fucking PlayStation disc with that. Little circle, circle, circle. all the time.
No doubt.
All that good technology.
Be kind, rewind. That is funny, man. They used to charge you to rewind the fucking. You didn't rewind that shit, dude. That's another $1.
Yeah. Please
bullshit.
be kind to rewind.
But back before that was a thing, people would fucking return them, and then you'd rent the video, and you'd have to rewind the son of a bitch to watch it. You know.
You know what's funny, Smiley? You know what's funny? I opened up a box a couple of months back. Didn't know what the heck was inside this box. Opened it up. I pulled out something that looked like a car, and I go, "Oh no way!" You know what it was?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what it was.
It was a rewinder machine for VCRs, and I looked at that and I started laughing so hard I couldn't believe that I still had one.
Yep.
Oh man,
that is funny shit. There's so much shit that's been obsolete, dude. Can you imagine all the shit that's gonna be obsolete here too, coming up like in the next decade or whatever? And fucking, we're gonna have. I hope that we get to have those hover skateboards like they had from Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, definitely. Yeah,
it's definitely gotta be.
Well, you know, with all this new alien technology they're going to be releasing here pretty soon. You know.
What do you think of that, man? That's pretty crazy.
Well, they've been talking a lot about it. They actually found a freaking vehicle from out of this planet, not of this world, you know.
Oh, they found the vehicle? I thought they just had recordings of it, because they were saying how like the military's been encountering them so often, like the pilots are trained on like not to freak out when you see them or whatever.
Well, no, I actually I heard that they had something.
You know, Johnny, I know that they say that, but what I think that is a cover up for what they are just finally getting the hang of, and it's the hypersonic vehicles that they have.
Yeah, because they're saying it's a huge intelligence breach, because like why you know, like these vehicles, we've known about them for how fucking long, you know what I mean? And like they can basically do anything they want. There's nothing that the military can do to stop them things, like at all. We can't even keep up with them. If they want it, they can just disappear from us. Fucking boom, gone. Like the only reason we see them, I think, is because they want us to see them. You know what I mean? Like that's fucked up.
The math works out too. Like there's a guy that's famous, well, I guess really popular right now for being one of those military guy that recorded one of these incidences. And he recorded it going from 60,000 feet to like 1 foot, 60,000 feet above sea level to 1 foot above sea level in like a second. Well, if you figure out the math of what 25 times the speed of sound is, that math works out to where in boom, 1 second. That's how fast it travels.
Yeah.
So it still, I think, is earthly technology.
But there's no way a human could withstand the G-forces on that.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
We could talk about they had drone technology since the 60s. They could fly airplanes with drones since the 60s.
Well, heck, Tesla made a drone, a boat drone.
I mean, he has the first patent for radio, like control of he did it, I think, with a little boat.
Yeah,
but still the same thing.
You know the story on that? He told the people that were watching there was a bunch of little men inside of the boat, and they were controlling it, and he was standing there with the remote control box, controlling this boat out there. And then when he brought it back to shore, everybody was mad at him. They said, "Man, you got to let those little people out of there." You know, so he literally had to open it up and show them that there wasn't any people in it. and then they called him a sorcerer because he was.
They blamed him for all the fires that were taking place because of his electronic experiments.
Funny when people are naive about stuff, what they go to deep extremes to what they will believe in their own mind. You know.
I think it's just a hologram. That's why it went so fast.
You know, Admiral Byrd back in the day, he said that when he came back out of the hole in Antarctica, he came back when he said that there was ships that could transverse from one pole to the other in a matter of minutes. And he said there's nothing we could do.
I still
they've been there this long. There's nothing they're gonna do now. You know what I'm saying? They've been there this long. They're just, like I say, the only reason we see them or have encountered them is because they wanted to. I don't know. Whoever it is. Maybe it's Hitler still. It's the Nazis.
Well, I was just about to say, I think no matter what the technology is.
Das Bell.
Yeah.
We're always at least 30 years behind any technology that's exposed to the public. And
that's a fact. If not
there's
more.
A lot of people like, and it just doesn't start with Germany going to Antarctica in the 30s. By then, and I think there was already like books written by like people accounts of people that went down there. And there was like a book in 1907 that was kind of what we're talking about. Like someone got lost in Antarctica and went down like a little ice canal, and they wound up in some place that was like 100 years in technology. They already had like flat screen TVs, electric vehicles, probably those hypersonic planes that could go from pole to pole in minutes. But that's all if you want to believe that or not, like you guys just said.
Where's that story from?
I think it's called The Iron Republic. It either came out in 1907 or 1908.
I do think that's a really wild account, though, the Admiral Byrd. That's just a pretty anomalous story. Like, he either is a ball-faced fucking liar, like they kind of made him out to be, or that's a really, because he's the only person that's been over both poles, right? Isn't it? Like,
yep.
Or something?
Well, I believe what they did is sensationalized what he really did see to cover up the fact that he did see something crazy, but then they made it sound so crazy that people discount it right away. But one thing that he probably did
video
say
footage, didn't they? Wasn't it?
Yes. I mean, he talks about it. He says one thing that, I mean, like, that's probably where he said too much and the reason why they had to say that he saw crazy shit, because he did tell people that they know that they have resources there for like the next 100 years in like oil, coal, and uranium. And he said that there's a place in Antarctica. There's a spot in Antarctica that's not frozen, and it's as big as the entire 48 states. It's just this big chunk in the middle of Antarctica that's not frozen. And then if you look on Google, I'm going down the Antarctica rabbit hole. Wormhole. Yeah. If you look on Antarctica on Google
I think I've seen that blurry spot.
Yeah, it's all whited out. And check this out. If you look at, and this changed in the past, like maybe I want to say recently, like maybe 5 to 10 years, they're erasing history of all the mountains in Antarctica. The mountain range is actually called like the Rockefeller Mountains. It's either Rothschilds or Rockefellers. I always get those two mixed up. But what you won't find out is Antarctica has the most mountain peaks over 20,000 feet elevation out of any other continent. That's really hard to find history of. But I talked to someone about it. This was years ago, and we were going down this wormhole, and we were talking about it. And this is no bullshit. He happened to have like a library collection of encyclopedias from every year from the start of his birth. And I think he was like born in 58 or 59. But he straight up pulled like a 1961 encyclopedia out about Antarctica. And it had all those maps and all those landscapes and mountain peaks planted and named and all that shit. And descriptions. Really? Yeah. And you go look on Google Earth right now or just try to find history about that. It's pretty damn hard to. There's a lot of fuckery going on about Antarctica, that's for sure.
Well, I've heard people refer to this time period right now as being like the second burning of Alexandria, where there's so many things being removed off the internet right now. You know, where like you can run a
It's a
Google
book burning
one
in
day
a
and
whole
then you go back to try to find it and it's gone. You know, like you can't find the
yeah,
same bit day after day, especially on
yeah.
controversial stuff. So there's definitely, I mean, we know, obviously, we know censorship happening and it's going on, but now it's actually to an extent where there's like, yeah, they're deleting shit from search.
About the weirdest things too that they want to censor. Like what's wrong with us questioning that kind of shit? You know what I mean?
Look it over in China, dude. They censor anything to do with Tiananmen Square. Like if you look into that too, like they fucking physically removed that. Like there's people that remember it over there, and there's people that definitely are on the opposing side. But a majority of the public, man, like they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like there's no history of it. It's not taught. It's not. Yeah, they just like totally made it disappear off the internet. Like they, yeah, like the algorithms will make shit remove. Like they figured out people that were trying to keep the memory alive were like switching, using coded wording and shit like that to try to link articles, and they're totally like removing that, you know, because that's a big embarrassing thing to the Chinese government, right? They fucking mowed down their people with tanks, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
in gotta save face.
Sorry, Johnny, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just commenting on that. They got to save face. That's the way they go about things. They hide shit. They lie. They, you know.
I was gonna say about the censorship in the last 8 years. I don't know the exact total of liked videos that I've had, but I think over 1,000 of them have gotten removed or private, made private.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But we're headed that way too, though. Like if you look at it, man, they can just fucking remove shit off from platforms, and they can, you know what I mean? Like they don't like what you said, they boom, you're done. You know what I mean? Your shit's all fucking gone. Your profile, all that shit. Like they don't give a fuck. You know, like lately they're kind of, in my opinion, when they shut the president down, they were pretty much fucking showing their hand as being like, fuck you.
They were letting you know.
I don't give a fuck who you voted in as president. We're shutting his ass down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
this is what we're doing.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. That's some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't understand that. That was just, this means that.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think he should have been on there in the first place. I'm not agreeing that he should have been on fucking all that shit. I think that was wrong of him, but that's just me personally. I don't think you should be in day-to-day knowledge of, like you shouldn't have your fingers at that reach to the public when you're at that side of sensitive information. You know what I'm saying? Like army generals and whatever high ranking top secret people aren't, you know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be on fucking TikTok and Twitter and shit. You know what I'm saying? They should. That's what top secret means. You fucking left your phone outside, bro. Like you ain't taking pictures of this shit, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, especially just the phone itself is the most privacy intrusive thing that exists on Earth, probably.
It is too, yeah. And if you don't think it's listening to you, start talking about some off the wall fucking thing you never talk about. Like, I don't know.
You can't even say that.
A new rubber ball. I want a red rubber ball.
And next thing you know, you got advertisements
pop up. You will get an ad on your fucking phone for a red rubber ball.
Smiley, I swear to God, same thing happened to me. We were talking about compost containers a little while back. Remember, I was talking about getting me a larger compost container or something that's.
Yeah.
I'm getting ads like that all the time.
Yep. I have too. I do. They listen, man. It's fucking. I'm surprised I don't get enough cannabis ads from it though.
Last summer, I went through a little kick of watching old 007 movies. And then I went on even more of a tangent where I was like, I want to get the same watch that 007 has. And I was talking, surrounded by Keith, and this was in a private Google Hangout, it's called, not live or on anything. And I was telling him that, I'm like, I want to get the same watch that 007 has. And then we, whatever, carry on the conversation, end the call. Next time I open up Instagram and I scroll down, the first sponsored ad or whatever is for watches. And I never get. Those first, obviously the first time, I'm not a watch fiend or whatever. It's the very first thing time that crossed my mind, and I talked about it one time, and then Instagram was listening.
And that's exactly where I got my ad too, is on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because that's where I spend majority of my time, is on Instagram, either that or on this, so I would understand how they would hit me up on that, matter of fact, in that avenue.
Chicha said her phone was right next to her computer. Thanks a lot. You got to screenshot those ads, Chicha, and post them on Instagram tomorrow. I see this red rubber ball fucking ad popping up. Because
no way.
Seriously, we're looking for one. You know what I mean? You were seriously interested in buying a red rubber ball. I remember you saying that, Chicha.
You guys are going to make me go get my dog's chew toy, because what is it? A red rubber ball.
And I just got a brand new red rubber ball out of the drawer for my dog just the other day.
Yeah. It's funny shit, man. I don't know where to go at it from the red rubber ball, though.
I don't either, man. It just bounced me right out.
You just hit that wormhole trampoline right
there. Glad you guys are all with that one. All right.
Yeah, that squirreled me there. That did me in.
Oh, Eagle's not even on no more. Eagle's got that wheel, the topic wheel. He was gonna have a wheel for when it got all silent and you could spin it and there'd be like 5 or 6 different. All right. What do you guys do about
Okay, well let's go back to Antarctica, because I like that one. I like that subject.
I don't.
It's
so much unknown about it, and it makes me anxiety. It gives me anxiety.
Okay, well let's talk about it a little more so you don't have as much anxiety. All right. So, you know that old map, the Perry's map or whatever that was, that's actually shows the actual land, greenage, mountain peaks, the mountain ranges. It shows rivers. It shows inlets, outlets in the ocean. And and it shows ships around it in different locations. Like that's where they would be going to do commerce.
Yeah.
And in that map,
that stuff too, Johnny, where it's not even frozen, it's like actual,
right. It's
that corroborates that story that I just said. Because
the other thing is about that is it shows giant people in there.
Yeah.
Eagle.
Very, very large people.
Well, and so like Gus Groves makes a point. None of us have been there, but none of us are allowed to fucking go there. Like that's the other side of it. Like it's like, you got to have special permission. You can't just.
And actually, they
got a boat to take you there and find you on that island. They're like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Because people were pushing the subject in the last couple of years, they even extended the boundary, and they said it because it's to save the Chilean sea bass. So now you can't even go beneath 60 degrees south latitude without a permit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep.
You ain't getting nowhere near Antarctica.
Wow, I had no idea that bad.
And the trips that you have to pay to go there are so expensive, and you're only going around the coast of it and seeing the penguins. You're not going and exploring and getting your own free time to go in.
Yeah.
There's even more stipulations and boundaries for that. I could send a that's another. Someone did do a concise video on literally all the different permits and situations that would come about if you did want to go and travel to Antarctica, and you have to pay, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. You can't have.
Mentioned it's a shitty cold ass ride when you're there.
Oh yeah, It's the coldest terrain and environment ever. 100 degrees below Fahrenheit.
Well, I seen that they actually have some I don't know what they call them, but they look like little utes in a way, you know, the like half domes.
Yeah.
You know.
What if
they got a?
Have you guys ever been to
Disneyland?
Let me throw an idea out here. Have you guys ever been to Disneyland? And you see like how good they are with like illusions and shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if Antarctica is like a tropical paradise, and they're just fooling everybody, and because nobody's been there, right? Like Gus Groves makes a point, nobody's been there, so all we
that's true.
They're just showing us pictures, right? Like it's some shit.
If you want to know what my dabbed out brain thinks is, I do think that I don't know how tropical it is based on, because it's still, if it is where it is on the map, then it still does get fucked up hours of sunlight. So let's just say it's geothermally warm enough to be like temperate or, you know, habitable.
Getting the heat from the Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, I don't know if there's palm trees and shit. But anywho, the semi-joking seriousness that I was going to say is,
I'm gonna smoke to that.
Where are all those celebrity deaths? All those, you know, Prince and Tupac, and that's my conspiracy, is that there is an Iron Republic or a civilization down in Antarctica that is 100 years, and yeah, they probably do.
They wanted Tupac.
That's where Elvis lives.
I'm telling you, they don't need no hologram. They got the real thing down there.
All right. Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, like, out of a hollowed out ancient volcano that's still like geothermal, there's like a Antarctic super city that's like 100 years more advanced than everything on the
rest of our technology's coming from them.
Could be. I don't know if it's coming from them as much as like we just get it like dropped to us. You know what I mean? Like it was already pretty much here for a long time, even before. Then we get into Atlantean shit, because supposedly all that technology from Atlantis place.
Well, yeah. So there is the story of the fallen angels too. Like there's a story where there's a pact of angels they're called the Watchers or something like that. But
the Watchers.
Yep. Yeah, they were supposed to oversee ongoings on the planet, and apparently they started lusting after humans and they fell to the earth to do that. And so some of the story is like that's where some of like one of the angels taught about agriculture. One of them was teaching about, you know, like
metallurgy.
Metallurgy.
Did you learn about that from the Book of Enoch, or did you get that somewhere else?
It is like Book of Enoch or whatever.
Okay, I was gonna say that's the first place.
But it's pretty interesting though too. Like a lot of the civilizations as they came through, like, you know, I mean, Sumerians came with language out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like written language and stuff, and then like Egyptians kind of came on the block and took over because they had knowledge of, you know, agriculture and all these different techniques. Like the Incas too. Like the whole deal with terra preta soil, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't even understand what the fuck they were doing back then, you know. Like,
well, still to this day, those Nazca lines, you know? Those Nazca lines, they have to do doing some kind of agricultural kind of miracle, because the Nazca lines are where they are, and they're still there because the place where they're at literally receives less than a quarter inch of rain a year. And it's been, I don't know how long it's been that way, but they're not getting rainwater to fucking water their crops with.
But they were obviously, I mean, we have evidence that there was large agricultural plots, and that there was, you know, a huge civilization there, like what was described in El Dorado, and like the original guy that saw it all got them all sick, is the theory, you know, so they all died of fucking mumps or whatever, and that he brought over with him. But he went back and told of all the civilization along the river and all these, you know, golden temples or towers or whatever. They went back 20 years later and fucking didn't find shit but a jungle. You know?
I was gonna say they tried like all these sunken like they try to think in Ecuador, they got all these subterranean, or what's the word for water caves? Subterranean? No.
Subterranean's underground.
What's the caves that it's completely flooded with water. Anyways, where it's like one of those holes in the aqueduct. You swim down, you go down, and there's like a whole nother realm underneath there.
No, there's a name for it down in Mexico in the Spanish
people go exploring in those kind of shits all the time, still looking for El Dorado.
Yeah,
they're like a sinkhole in a way.
El Dorado's in the jungle, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, but I forget what they call them.
Yeah, this is straight up in the jungle, and it's like rivers and all that, but you swim in the river and there's like a hole in the river. You go down the river, it's a little channel, and then whatever that water level is at, somewhere out, completely another place, you pop up and it's just an underground cavern, but the only way to access it is going through the water.
Yeah. That hole, yeah. I would imagine that'd still be an aqueduct, wouldn't it? You're just inside the aqueduct at that point.
Yeah. No, they got a special name for them. I forget what they're called.
Yeah, there is a name for it too.
Yeah, it's just whatever a water cave is.
Aquifer. It is an aquifer. That's the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the channel, I don't know what the channel is called though. That raises a good question though. Is there anywhere in nature that there's a natural siphon?
What do you mean a natural siphon?
Do you believe
know what a siphon is, right? Like where you have a water that's raised up, and then you have like a straw or
negative
whatever.
Pressure.
Once you get a vacuum going, it just keeps pouring. You know what I'm saying? The gravity of the water falling down the straw pulls the next water up. It's a siphon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, do you guys believe the same fuckery it goes on at the North Pole as Antarctica?
No.
Okay, well, the same thing, like what Johnny said about the map.
Santa Claus lives at the North Pole.
Oh, boy. No, I'm not opening up that door. But there's a whole bunch of maps that they have continents on the North Pole, and it all meets at like a center mountain that's like made out of magnets. And I don't know how far you guys want to go on that. But yeah, it's supposed to be that same thing. There's supposed to be a giant whirlpool that is the source of all the tides and all the currents in the oceans. Takes the water in, takes the water out, just kind of like what you're saying. It's supposed to have the tree of life on the top of the mountain.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's all different Norse. It's in Norse mythology. It's in Greek mythology. There's a whole bunch of. There's like a map or a.
Image guys were tripping when they wrote all that, right?
Yeah, Sherman, hard time.
Right.
They weren't just foraging out in the forest.
All you're saying, they were in a wormhole.
They were definitely in a wormhole, a psychedelic wormhole.
I don't know, man. It's funny though.
But anyways, there's a picture you can look up. I think it's like a side by side of 8 different ancient people's depictions of what they thought the world view was. Like there's like a Vedic one, I don't know, like a Native American one, Norse one, Egyptian one. But it's
the Hopi one.
Yeah, I think that's one of them. Yeah, it's like Hopi, Sumerian, like even like old Hebrew. But basically, it's a firmament enclosed earth with the point in the middle where the tree of life connects the heavens to the ground. And it's like, an ancient symbol that's shared by like 8 different civilizations spread all different places on Earth.
Interesting.
So but there's maps, like I said, in the very same person that has the very most popular map right now, Gerardus Mercator. That's the most common map that everyone is familiar with, a little pull down map in school. The same person that made that map made a map that no one ever gets to see because, like saying, it's going down the memory hole. But he made a map of the North Pole, and it has 4 different continents with, like saying, inlets in each one, and it has like a circular tide pool, whirlpool in the middle where basically no ship can, bypass. It just sucks the water up, and it's, like a siphon, and it comes down from that mountain.
And where did you see that one?
I think the first thing I saw it on, as nerdy as it sounds, was like a fucking long ass lecture about ancient maps. That's
okay.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd type to do it, ancient world maps lecture or something like that, but
Chat's looking at Google Earth. That's funny.
Good luck with that, man. You're only going to see what they want you to see.
I think the name of it, I might be fucking different mythologies up, but on Gerardus Mercator's map, I think he indicated it as Mount Meru. I think it's Meru, I want to say, is what the Gerardus Mercator map is in the center. And basically, it's got a whole bunch of crazy properties to it. Like it's like a super magnet, and it causes that whirlpool. And it's, there's a lot of stories about it, basically. But there's a lot of stuff going on in Antarctica and the North Pole, and there's restrictions to gain access to both of them. So it's the same thing where we all don't really know because we've never been there and can't really go to check it out.
Is that because it's so cold? Or?
Well, the North Pole, ironically, is more, I don't want to say temperate, but less frigid than Antarctica by a huge margin, and to where it even changes the seasons. And that's another side-by-side picture you can look up. It's like Antarctic summer, Arctic summer, Antarctic winter, Arctic winter. And the summer one is a complete contrast. And the Antarctic summer and Antarctic winter is no contrast at all. So like the picture is like a complete bleak, white landscape for the Antarctic summer. And the Arctic
just
summer
don't make sense, right?
Yeah, is like a grassy, flowery meadow, right? There's actual grass and flowers growing. It's not frozen.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about that map that it shows that?
No, this is a picture, side-by-side picture of the landscape in Antarctica during the winter and summer, and the Arctic, the North Pole, winter and summer.
Right.
Just the contrast between the two. And no matter what period of time it is in Antarctica, it's pretty much the same landscape, just that white, bleak, frozen landscape. Whereas it's different, it's flip-flopped in the Arctic summer or winter, where it actually looks like true seasons. The summer looks summery, that winter looks wintry. But temperature-wise, the coldest it's ever gotten in the Arctic is like somewhere below -70. But the coldest it's ever gotten in Antarctica is literally like -138. So it almost gets double as cold in Antarctica as it does in the Arctic or North Pole.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Right.
We don't know that for a fact.
Well, I've never been there.
Because you hear of all the heads of state, all the rulers of the world that have traveled down there during the last few, within the last decade, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. They all go to visit
because the Ark of Gabriel is buried there. That's why.
There's a couple of weird things. They go to visit one specific Russian Orthodox church, and I'm going to circle back to the whole Nazi Antarctica stories. But if you want to believe that narrative, supposedly Hitler stashed what's called the Spear of Destiny in Antarctica. Ooh. And that has a whole mythology to it. Whoever possesses the Spear of Destiny is like the most powerful person on Earth, and it's like the most capable person of leading everyone else on Earth.
Sounds like a new
miraculous powers. But if anyone knows what the Spear of Destiny is, that's what they poked Jesus with after he was supposedly dead on the cross. And,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he was dead on the cross. They did spear him.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, that spear supposedly had, these magical powers to it that Hitler was obsessed with. And supposedly he found it. He found the true artifact of what he thought, at least, was a Spear of Destiny. And I think there's some tie-in to where even if it, who knows, it could be some complete fucking, like, he could have took it into Pawn Stars, and they're like, no, dude, this is a complete fake.
Pawn Stars.
But whatever it is, I do believe that there's a spear down there.
Where the hell did that come from, Red? That was good. That was good.
It's like,
nice segue.
I bet this is something that this is a little squirrel that's been running on a hamster wheel in my mind for a while. I've talked about this hypothesis a lot before. But yeah, I do think that's what people are going down there. Like, you had John Kerry and Obama and
right.
A bunch of weird ass people literally going down there. And I think it's literally just to touch it, just hold it in their hand, maybe take Instagram, whatever the that secretive Illuminati Instagram is that they all got. And they're like taking pictures like, oh man, you got to go down Antarctica, hold the fucking spear, man.
Yeah, you got a picture with the owl out in the forest. And
Illuminati landscape landmarks.
Oh shit.
My one buddy I follow, he was traveling. I think this is during COVID. I can't remember. He did a couple around the country road trips, and I can't remember what period it was, if it was just while he did it during COVID or if it was a time before. But yeah, Smiley, I heard one time, didn't you say you have an Australian Shepherd?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My buddy has an Australian Shepherd, and he took him out to the Georgia Guidestones. Anyone knows what that is? No. And he has a picture of his dog taking a piss on the Guidestones.
Nice. Man's best friend.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Georgia Guidestones.
They're known to be assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never did like that story about the Georgia Guidestones. Thought that was a little bit strange.
Yeah, I had a border collie growing up. It was fun. A lot less stubborn than my dog now.
I have an old, German Shepherd Lab mix, and then the youngest dog we have is a Chihuahua Jack Russell Terrier mix. So, and he's kind of a little dickhead too. So,
little ankle biter.
He is, yeah, he's a dick.
A smart little ankle biter.
He's supposed to be a guard dog, right? And he'll bark at people when they show up. I get that, right? New people here, totally get it. But you see me greet them, welcome them in the house. You don't got to bark no more, right? Like, it's good, right? Like, now they've been there for hours, and then they go to leave. You don't. That's not the time to bite them, you chicken shit. Like, bite somebody sometimes.
Oh. On the way out the door?
Yeah.
Oh, don't come back.
How welcoming is that for the next time, right? It's like, shit, I'm not going back over to Smiley's house. Is that what he did to...
He got an ankle, like a pant leg on my buddy, you know what I mean? He's like, what the fuck, man? I was like, I don't know, man. He's one of them
Was
guys.
He rat tearing on his leg?
When you're not looking and shit, like, I guess.
Little terrorizers. Man, right? I tell you. Oh, man. That's something about the Chihuahua that has that about them. They just love to nip around the ankle area.
Yeah.
You know?
That's all they can reach, dude. That's fucking why.
Well, yeah, I guess, but...
He is like little squinty dude, too, man. He's fucking, let me at him. Then, like, the minute you turn and look at him, he's fucking, choom, he's gone, dude, behind the couch and shit. Can't see him. And minute you turn back around, he's trying to bite you in the ankle and shit. Like, it's funny.
Oh man,
Tough guy.
That's funny. My dog likes to be right next to me at all times, and whenever I take off to go to the next room to do something over there, you know, when I'm getting busy, I'll bounce from 3 different rooms. You know, I'll be watering my plants. I got 3 different areas I'm going into it, doing things, and he wants to be right there with me at all times. And he's trying to think ahead of me. Okay, he's going to go this way, so he'll take off in front of me. Next thing you know, I'm tripping on him. You know, and I'm, oh man.
But you know he's meaning well too, right?
Oh, he's just wanting to hang, man. I says, man, I love it, but I just hate it when he gets underfoot, you know, because I'm afraid I'm going to hurt him, you know.
Yeah.
That's my thing, because he's just, you know, he's only 28 pounds.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take much to hurt him. Yeah. So that bothered. Yeah, he just gets right up underneath me, and it's fun, you know. At times, it's really fun. He's getting lazy like me though lately.
Yeah. It is funny how animals are like a lot like kids. Cracks me up. Like you see the pictures of all the like the dogs with their owners and shit, and it's like just comical, dude. It's funny. It's so ironically true, though. You know what I mean? It's weird how that is, but I don't know if it's a spirit animal thing or what. But it's pretty funny though.
My little buddy, he's a good boy.
Dude, animals are the best, man. I don't know. I'm allergic to cats. I can't really own a cat, but I do like cats. I'm a dog guy, but I don't hate cats necessarily. Some of them are assholes. There's a higher
I'm allergic to cats
that are assholes. I will say that. There's a higher percentage that are.
I don't sneeze or anything when I'm around them, but I'm allergic to them. I just don't like being around them.
Oh, I've met some really cool cats, man, where they're like almost like dogs, like where they like you. You know what I mean? They actually like humans. Most cats are like fucking captors. You know what I mean? They think you're
exactly. They're plotting their next move. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. Every time I look at you, I'm thinking, man, you got the worst intentions for me, you know?
Every cat owner I know is like, yeah, my cat wakes me up every morning by jumping on my fucking face and shit. It's like, yeah, that sounds like an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah. My the cat that used to live with us in the house, he would wake me up in the mornings by landing on my chest and being right in my face. And it would just, I think that's why I'm allergic to cats. It just gave me, you know, I didn't like it. Didn't like the way that one treated me. And so, you know, it was my wife's cat.
But I love all animals, man. That's cool. We got hermit crabs now. That's the most recent.
I like kittens.
Another thing, I don't know if I'm going to turn anyone off right now, but my next pet that I've been wanting for some time is a snake.
What kind of snake?
A couple different kinds, depending on how much wallet I have.
Which ones?
And a scaleless creamsicle. You know what that is?
No, but I can picture it.
It's got to be white and orange, right?
White and orange and completely scaleless.
Yeah.
That'd be my.
Is it a boa constrictor or?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they started with because I know there's a whole. I
probably ball python because they do a lot of breeding with the ball pythons. I know that.
Well, that's the other one I want. I want a caramel python. That's the more affordable one I can get. Caramel pythons are cool. They're in contrast, like the normal ones are kind of like that black and gold kind of color. These ones are like copper and gold.
A buddy of mine breeds them, so he's been like, I don't know, every time he's over, he's talking about it. Like, so I kind of know snakes now just because of that. But yeah, he's been. It's interesting though because a lot of the breeding philosophy, I guess you'd call it, or theory or whatever he's going to use is similar, so it's, but yeah, it's pretty neat, man. They go all the way from like pale white, all white ball python with blue eyes. It's called a blue-eyed Lucy, if you want to look it up or whatever. But that's fucking badass, isn't it? Pitch white snake with blue eyes.
Yeah.
Fucking badass sounding.
Yeah.
I thought anyway. I don't know. I don't even like snakes, but that's fucking. I've never seen one with blue eyes either, I guess.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be my next pet. Or a fish tank. That's a lot easier, but I won't count that. But next pet, I had a gecko back in the day. I didn't take well enough good care of it to make it survive. My aunt and uncle still have a gecko that I think is like 21 years old, and I got mine at the same time. It's not around. So ever since then, I've wanted to kind of retry with a reptile. And for whatever reason, I just wanted, either a caramel python, or somehow if I hit the lottery, or by the time it takes me to actually get a snake and I have enough money for it, and the price of scaleless creamsicles came down.
Yeah. You ever see those monitor lizards? Those fuckers are pretty wicked too, man. If you like the snakes and shit, like they'll mosh on a mouse or whatever. They get pretty vicious.
That was gonna be another thing. I was gonna get
vicious with it.
What do you do with it when it gets big?
You let them go in Florida.
You let him go in Florida.
Yeah, you just do what everyone else does.
Right?
You got the lowest rate of being
That's
caught.
exactly why I'm laughing, man. It's like that's what everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna take my pet down to Florida.
People around here just let them go and then see if they survive or whatever. Usually they'll die off in the winter, so they'll probably hang for the summer, man. They're tough son of bitches. Like some of them are. I don't know about the snakes. The snakes, like the ball pythons, are kind of. Some of them are bred to be pretty timid. I don't know if they would hang in the wild. They're definitely not. They're like domesticated snakes. They're not like.
Yeah, it wouldn't take long.
Yeah, wild snakes are pretty aggressive usually. Like a lot of them. They don't want you fucking with them anyway. They'll get pretty nasty when you try to fuck with them. They may not stalk you and try to bite you, but you start messing with them, they're gonna.
Oh yeah, they'll come right back at you at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Some of them other ones are pretty docile. Shit, some of them
never was.
They never like to hug and snuggle and shit like that. I don't know, he was telling me a few of them are like real sweethearts. They'll just like love on you and shit. I'm like, I don't know. I guess it's still a snake.
Wrap around your neck. Yeah, just let me give you a little hug here.
Yeah. People let them do that shit though, man. But I don't know.
Oh man,
Apparently they're super sensitive though. Like the constrictors can like when they get prey, they literally, as they're squeezing them, they can feel the thing's heartbeat stop and shit. You know what I mean? Like they know the instant that thing's fucking dead, and that's when they let them go and start eating them. They're not poking him in the eye and shit, wondering if he's dead. They fucking know. I mean, if you think about it, how do you check your pulse? They squeeze that thing around your arm, right? And fucking
feel completely.
Yeah.
They can feel every little pulse that's going through that baby when it's
Yeah. I know exactly.
Yeah, they squeeze it just the right amount to make it suffocate. That way they get instead of blown out body, they get to eat the body the way they want it to.
Oh, it's fresh, man. It's still warm, nice and warm. not squiggling around. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the most beautiful snakes I've ever seen was a copperhead.
Yeah, they can be really pretty.
I mean, gorgeous snake. What colors it had on it. But I'll tell you what, man, it was pretty scary seeing it too.
Yeah.
I used to work at Chino Hill State recreational park, and it was a wildlife reserve, 10,000 acres. Used to have to go up and thatch out the areas along the. What I mean by that is they have these thrasher blades that go on a weed whacker. Big old plastic blades. You've probably seen them. They really tear down the thicker stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
I went out there and I'm cutting off the side of the mountain, you know, going up the side of the hill there and doing my thing. And next thing you know, I hear a bunch of noise and I back up and walk away and I come back and I start looking at it and I seen man, that's when I seen that rattler. It was just, what a beautiful thing. It almost glistened, you know, it was so pretty.
Yeah. So back, just one other thing on the ball pythons. I don't know if you guys are on a joke, look up videos on ball pythons shitting. It is the craziest fucking noise that you've ever heard in your life. Like the worst fucking diarrhea run fart shit you've ever had. That noise times 10, dude. It's so fucking.
Wait a second. So you're telling me it's like the Dumb and Dumber scene times 10?
Yes, dude. It is exactly like that. They are so loud. It is so loud and fucking nasty sounding. You wouldn't believe it until you play a video of it, but there's so many videos of it. It's a thing with them that they just fucking like, it's the nastiest sounding fucking shit. Like loud enough to where you hear it in another room and shit like that.
Wow.
Like fucking weird random fact. Sorry, weird random fact.
Well, you're prepared. I guess I'm prepared about it. Got a few things to be prepared about.
Right? Yeah. You wouldn't think that though, would you? Like I wouldn't think that.
I don't know if I want to get a mostly white python now though, because I'm gonna have to clean it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all doo-doo stained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go to town, man. You gotta watch that shit.
Yeah, when they let go, you gotta clean that cage right away, huh?
Right? My buddy's got like 60 of them, so I was teasing him about that. It's like, dude, do you realize like that you got to be hearing that all the fucking time? Like in my head, he's hearing that like at least 3 times a day. Like,
da, 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 da.
Yeah, dude, like, it is, man. You gotta look it up, dude. You gotta look it up. It's fucking hilarious. You're like, holy shit.
Oh man, that was good. That was a good one.
It is funny. I wouldn't have. It's funny to me just because, yeah, like I didn't believe him when he told me that. He's like, "Oh, dude, they fucking shit the loudest." And then that he said the same thing. You got to look it up, and I looked it up, and there's this video after video of them all, dude. Like, and we gotta watch a couple to get the gist of it, though. But,
I'm imagining the farting preacher. Someone please tell me you know what the farting preacher is.
No, I haven't seen the farting preacher.
No, it's like one of the oldest, like those old, like before YouTube, those video websites that would have like little, guess now they would be memes / viral videos, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like just one of those old time preachers. He's like, the Lord and Jesus, and then someone plays fart sounds in the background because the guy, he always goes like, woo! That kind of thing. They'll play like a little, and then he's like, woo! And it's like just a whole like 5-minute reel of him farting and him preaching. I'm sorry, I'm really immature.
Or with somebody just putting the noise in there.
Yeah. No, it's not real. It's completely fake.
Okay.
I'm being really immature right now. I have a very low sense of humor.
It's funny. Farts are funny. Isn't that what Coot's kind of known for now? Something tootin' cootin' or something like that. They got snips. I've seen a couple of snips of him where he was on Fumador show or something when they were fucking like he
ripping farts.
Fart. Yeah, they had the little clip of him like fucking. I think he even did the lean over and everything.
Man, that has to be going around because another podcast I watched, they did the same thing with a guest. There was a guest on, and it's a two episode a week podcast. And so the Monday episode they had the guest on, and the Thursday episode the lady or they played it back, and they're like, "Hey, you guys tell us what you think. Do you think this our last past guest farted?" And then they try to like narrow it down. Was the guest or was it one of the actual co-hosts? But they're like, someone actually, ripped one, and they're trying to figure it out. So it's funny that is a.
It's funny when the newscasters do it too. There's videos of fucking news guys ripping. Well, one of them was one of the old guys is known for that too on the TV. Shit, I can picture his face right now too.
Man, that's horrible that you're known for
Somebody
farting on camera.
Say it too. Yeah, like an old TV caster, and he's known for fucking ripping him on TV.
Tom Brokaw.
It might be, dude. Yeah, it's one of them old TV newscasters. Not Brokaw though. I'm trying to. Fuck.
Larry King.
Yeah, Larry King. That's what it is.
Woo! I got it.
Yep, Larry King was the dude. Fucking ripping farts, man.
Yeah, he was a wild cat. That one.
I wonder if at a certain point that this becomes an inside joke to him, like how many times he can rip one and not have it go, not have it get hurt or some shit. Like it's his own inside joke. It's funny. We did blow by 420, so cheers, y'all, chat.
Cheers.
Yeah, I just got mine loaded up, so I'm working it right now. We're doing the 422.
422.
The 422.
We need Eagle to jump back in and fucking play the song for us.
Yeah.
Must be we're closing it out.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Smoking some platinum cake. And it's really, really delicious. And this might be my favorite. But shh.
Wait a minute.
Who is that said that their favorite joint is the one they're smoking right then? Somebody said that. My favorite weed's the one I'm smoking right now, or something like that.
I'm thinking of Fada Mike. That would always someone would be like, "What's your favorite strain?" You'd be like, "Cannabis."
Yeah, no shit.
Cannabis.
I like that one. Which is all of them. I like that category. This was quite the wormhole, though, man. We covered some ground.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yep.
Snake farts all the way to Antarctica to, yeah.
Killing the ozone with fucking farts.
That's the
went down some nasty holes on this one. Yeah.
I don't think a cow is polluting more than a car. But I will say though, driving out west when we drove by those cows, the mega farm cows or whatever, but they had so many cows that were so tight together in like a quarter-mile area or whatever. It smelled so horrible. I've never smelled a farm that smelled that bad. It was the most disgusting.
Dairy farmer kind of stuff. Yeah.
No, I don't know if they were collecting them there. It looked, because there was a railroad track too, so maybe that was just a transport, like they were fucking moving them around or something. I don't know. There was plenty of land around. They just had them really condensed in like one small area or whatever. But it was so fucking nasty to smell. It was bad. I remember.
Well, when you drive down the 15 freeway, I think it's a 15. I can't remember anymore. Anyways, it's down in California. They got a lot of dairy farms down there, and in that area, when you drive in that area, it is very rancid because they have pools of poo around there.
Gross. The shit lagoon.
You know? Yeah, the shit lagoon.
Don't get me wrong. They have to do something. So
They gotta.
There's not better alternatives yet or whatever, but there's fucking, it's gross as fuck too, nonetheless, you know.
It is what it is, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. Until it rains and then there it goes.
The flood action, yeah. Boy, that'd be good, right? That'd be some soup to walk in.
There's some cool stories though, like I've heard about, you know, like the regenerative style of farming and ways to like actually bring good biology to those lagoons and make them cycle the way they're supposed to. You know, like the amount of shit going into it's fine as long as the biology is there to cycle that nutrient back for the water or whatever, you know what I mean? So you gotta have the system fully operating in a way you can add that waste to it and have it get, you know.
So it just kind of eats it up or transforms it?
Well, what they do in them lagoons, I think, is they suck that shit out and they will spray it on their farmland. And they fucking, you know what I mean? So they want it kind of juicy because they need it to move.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. It does. It does.
Yeah. Dang. They want to keep it in a lagoon like that, I think. Suck it up and spray it out on their farmland.
The Poo Lagoon. Wasn't there a movie made about that? The Poo Lagoon?
Creature.
Oh, no, that was the Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon.
Might be.
Shit.
Smoke a cigarette and then close her out.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
I don't have the list in front of me, but love everybody. Yeah. It's always fun.
I can't see chat. Can you see chat, Red? No?
If I had the power,
I could go to chat.
Huh.
Yeah.
So what's your big question for tomorrow that you want to get answered? What do you want to learn tomorrow?
Who do we have in here?
Tomorrow, if I could learn one thing tomorrow is how to take the extra cash I have and put it all the crypto coins I want.
All right. When you check in the next wormhole, I expect to hear how you fucking did that.
Yeah.
I'm slacking, man.
Huh?
I got a couple
you
of
learn it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, I guess. Huh?
Dogecoin.
No, I was all about that XRP for a while. I wanted to get in XRP when it was 29 cents. I don't know what it is at now, but I think the highest I saw that was like $1.80 something. That's what I'm worried about.
How do you decide which one to get in on?
We're gonna open up a whole discussion for another wormhole about crypto, but I do feel late.
I like the idea. I understand the concept and all that shit, but it's just another way of currency, and the only thing is it requires more people to trust and use it, just like and that's no different than the Federal Reserve note. You know what I mean? Just
Did you hear that China's backing their money by gold now?
I didn't hear that. No.
That's true. Then they're probably going to become the new standard.
But the yuan's probably going to be the new money. And that means if that happens, oh boy, that's some shit.
There's no way that could happen, though. I don't think. I don't know.
They just did it. Yeah. They're backing their money by gold now. I think Russia will do the same thing next because they've been buying gold like crazy. Russia and China.
It'd be smart. It'd be really smart for them to do.
That's what we should have done a long time ago.
More stability to it. You know, that is the one thing where, like, you know, having the government control the financial well-being of the country is pretty important. You know, like that's the American downfall right there is the Federal Reserve. That's everybody says, oh, democracy doesn't work. Bullshit. Democracy works fine as long as there's not corruption. Now there's corruption there that's no stopping it. You know what I mean? Everybody's corrupt in there. I don't know. I don't trust any of the elected officials. They fucking.
I don't either. They're all a bunch of
liars. Got their own best interest in their own fucking people that they're lobbyists or whatever they call them. You know what I mean? How the fuck are there people paying you money to make a vote? How the fuck is that even a thing? Like, that blows my mind. What does a fucking lobbyist do? How they giving you money to make their vote happen? Like, what? That's a thing? Like, how's that a thing? And everybody knows about it? Like, what? How the fuck is that?
And it costs hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's not like me and you could do that.
Yeah, how are there special interest groups? What the fuck does that mean? You know, like, seriously, on a serious note, what the fuck does that mean? Like, why are there these special interests? Why are they more interested? I don't know.
Why are they so much more special than everybody else? Yeah. Right.
Some of the questions kind of, you're like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like government intelligence. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah, right. I think we'd be more intelligent. We spend enough on it every year,
right? If they could just figure out how to spend my money better, you know, that's
honestly. But honestly, we're to the point. In my opinion, we are intelligent enough to understand. You know, like, we are. Like, I am too. You know, like, I'm just as guilty. I'm smoking a cigarette. Like, I'm smart enough to understand, right? Like, we all fucking do it. Like, I don't know, but consumerism just gets everybody, I think, where we all fucking, I don't know, man. We spend and waste. You know what I mean? We buy shit and throw it away. Fucking buy shit, throw it away. Buy shit, throw it away. Like, that's just how it's been. You know what I mean? Like, everybody was raised that way. Like, now it's kind of like we're realizing, like, that's probably not the best thing to be doing all the time, right?
I wish if I could be Amish, I would.
Yeah,
they're not cool.
It's a great way of life, man. I'm not laughing at it at all. I have a lot of respect for that.
That's a hard life, yeah.
I don't think it is, though. I think it's a lot easier life, man. I do.
Well, what I mean by hard life is it's a hard life compared to what we're used to.
I don't think so. I think it's a lot less stress. They work.
If you were to go from this life into that life, hard,
yes,
it would be a culture shock.
Probably, yes. Most definitely.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It would be a big change. You'd really have to want it in order to do that.
Yeah, you got to build shit instead of just ordering it on Amazon, right?
Yeah, you can't just say, "Dang, I'm hungry. Can I get a pizza from Pizza Hut?"
Right, yeah.
You gotta grow your own tomatoes, gotta grow your own damn wheat.
Better hope you had
flour
from last year's wheat. Fucking hard. Make your dough.
Cheese, pepperoni. You can get it. You can do it. You can make a Amish pizza.
I love their craftsmanship, their woodwork.
Oh, I'm gonna bring it up really again. I'm sending anyone that wants me to send it to you. I've been. What else takes part some of my day on YouTube that I'm watching videos of is I love these Amish log cabin builders.
Oh yeah,
I'm doing it. That's a bucket list thing.
Have you ever seen the guy that did the log cabin up in Alaska? I only know this there's a documentary, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's an old, like, 60s movie or something. And it's basically this old dude took a camera with him, fucking canoed his ass up out in the middle of fucking nowhere in Alaska, just by himself, started chopping trees down and videotaped it all and built a fucking log cabin out in the woods and shit, dude. He's one tough old son of a bitch, but it's an awesome video. Like, he's got all kinds of wildlife in there and all kinds of shit. But it's he spent the summer building the house, and then, like, the summer before, I think he went and cut down the trees, and then he went back the next summer and built the house or whatever. But it's a pretty cool documentary.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, it's a tough son of a bitch, dude. He went down and cut down all the fucking trees to build his house.
What I want. That's what I want.
Jeremiah Johnson
dragged them all out of the woods by himself and shit. And fucking.
If I'm not too late on the crypto bandwagon, that's what I want it to pay for. wanted to pay for a little cabin in the woods.
There you go.
I don't know if I'm going to. I've debated on where I'm going to go. I mean,
it could be just a trailer down by the river, but
it could be. It'll start off with there probably because, like I said, it's going to be a multi-year process. If I cash in on a little bit of crypto, maybe I'll be able to afford like. I'm looking at in between 3 and 9 acres is what I'd be happy with.
Nice.
Oh, I got to change the subject here. Did you guys hear about the gorilla hail that happened in Texas?
Gorilla hail?
You lost me.
I saw maybe a week ago. I was watching a podcast.
I've heard raining cats and dogs. I've never heard of gorilla hail.
The people.
Well, this hail was 8.5 inches wide.
What the fuck?
It must have been what I watched because, like I said, the podcast I watched, they do it out of Texas.
They had cars down there that were just blown apart. All the windows were blown out. They had houses that had holes just blown right through their. Right, it was like it got hit by an asteroid.
Yeah, that's a freaking meteor landed on the planet, dude.
Yeah.
What's the difference between hail and a comet?
Well, ice ball.
Comets, hail is.
A comet is supposed to be a large ice ball, kind of.
Yeah. Sounds like a piece of hail to me, right?
Well, I mean, a comet came from out of the.
That's like cosmic hail.
Again.
That's cosmic hail, man. That's a different thing, man. We're talking about earthly hail here.
Oh.
Yeah, but is that insane or what? 8.5 inches wide?
There I go.
It wasn't from
rain away.
It wasn't one of them airplane bombs.
No, man. The guy had it in his hand. You know.
Couldn't hold it too much, man.
So wait, you guys never got so.
You don't know where that's been.
You're telling me you guys never got so high that you contemplated if comets come from the Earth?
Come from the Earth?
Yeah.
No, I'd never contemplated that one. But I suppose if they went into the hole in Antarctica and came through the other side and shot out the top at the north, it could get projected out into the solar system. I could see that happen.
It came from the Earth, like they popped out like a zit and went back out to outer space.
Nope. Some kind of other. I'm gonna go into a whole bunch of woo right here, but you know what they say stars do? They like fuse.
Fission, nuclear.
Yeah, okay. Well, my theory is that it's actually cold fission. Stars aren't doing it with heat; they're doing it with cold. And meteors, meteorites, and comets are like star shit, basically.
Man, if you could harness that cold fusion, man, that would be the shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one to end that wormhole.
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't have enough time in this wormhole to go into detail on that one.
Right.
All right. Right on, Smiley.
Amish and some other stuff to the wormhole now.
Gorilla hail.
Gorilla hail.
Don't forget about the gorilla hail, man.
Gorilla hail is star shit.
Gorilla hail.
It's real shit, man.
The Earth popping meteors.
That happened down in Texas. If anybody wants to check that shit out, man, look it up, man. It's a trip.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Gorilla hail.
Yeah. Never heard of it before, but they called it out today.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right, then.
Out or you want me to just end it? I'm
gonna jump out.
Right.
Smiley, thanks for hopping on, giving everybody a chance to come out. I know Eagle had things he had to get done, so
yeah.
That's very important. He was talking about getting his shit lined up again. So, Red Pill, always awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you later. Guys. Everybody in chat. See ya.
Great wormhole, guys.
Yep.
Peace out, Smiley.
Have a good one, Red Pill.
Yep. Peace out, Eagle. If you can hear me in the background. Good night. Cheers, guys.
I think he's logged in anymore. I think it was the end of it. So, yeah, cool. Everybody, it was fun hanging out, man. Another wormhole down. So we got Sunday now. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Sundays are great, man. There's a whole lineup of shows. So catch your favorite shows on Sundays. Hope everybody has a great one though. It was a good time. So peace and love. And random acts of kindness do save lives. So if you can do something nice for somebody, even if it's just saying hello. So